I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
The glorious day that we have all been eagerly waiting for has finally arrived.
Okay, what day were we waiting for?
Oh dear. The Puma has gone in for its surgery.
Oh, I see. Right, yes, okay, yes. Yeah, I was actually waiting for that. That's okay, yeah.
Yeah, you actually were. Yeah,
I was actually. Sorry.
So that's
slow on the uptake.
That's gone. That was a bit of an early start to get it up there, but
okay.
Yeah, that was okay. Well, actually, I say it was okay. It wasn't actually.
Okay, well, is it there? Let's start with that.
It is now there, and they have commenced operations.
Okay, so something happened on the way. Then I'm having a wild stab in the dark. Yeah,
it did.
Go on then.
It did. As you will know, I don't know if we mentioned it on the podcast. I spent some time at the weekend resurrecting it.
Mm-hmm.
It has sat dormant since beginning of October. We are now middle of January, so it's not done a lot. Battery was completely flat.
Mm-hmm.
Not a surprise, really.
No, not a shock.
So I had to take care of that. Brakes were seized on because I stupidly left the handbrake up. My own fault. I know better than that. Yeah. I know better than that when you're leaving an old car. But I mean, to be fair, we didn't intend for it to be this long. The garage delayed the work. And I just didn't think. And I should have not left it with the handbrake on, but there you are. Accelerator was stuck. Accelerator pedal was stuck, and the steering wheel had gone green. But other than that,
perfect.
Other than that, tip-top.
That's okay. I mean, it's mostly superficial.
Yeah, sorted all that out, and I have to say, it started on the key as soon as I put the new battery on it, or the recharged battery. I didn't buy a new battery. It's only 2 years old, so. Put the new battery, charged battery on it, and it just went straight away. And went to a perfect idle, and it was lovely. Yeah, moved it back and forth a bit on the driveway, freed it all up. All was well.
Excellent.
Pumped the tyres up because a couple of them had gone down, but again, all well, and they held the pressure over the last few days. So, came to this morning. Tried to be clever and squeeze it out past the Jag. Well, that wasn't happening, was it? So
move the Jag, yes.
Yes, I had to move the Jag. Yes, again, was trying to do it quickly and lazily and tried to get it out. And it is very small. The Jag is not.
I've seen your driveway. I don't see a manoeuvre that could make that happen, if I'm honest.
It was close. It was close, but it didn't. No, there would have been a coming together. So
I see.
So no, that was no good. So yeah, get the Jag out of the way, put that down the road. Got the Puma out. It wasn't sluggish. The engine was fine, but the steering was very heavy. Brakes non-existent because they'd rusted over completely. I mean, the Puma's brakes aren't brilliant anyway. At the best of times, they never were. But particularly spongy this morning. It was all just feeling a bit sluggish, and there was lots of creaking and groaning, and from the car.
Yes.
And I did mention it was early, but off I went up the road, and it's quite busy for a country lane. But I should claim, although the car has no MOT and actually has been on SORN. You are legally allowed to drive it to a pre-booked repair appointment, so that is all fine.
Yes.
So off I went. Good. Yeah. Off I went up to the village, only to be confronted with road closed signs.
For Christ's sake.
So off I went down another little lane down a road I had never been down before in my life. They weren't. There was not a liberal use of diversion signs. Let's put it like that. There several junctions and turnings where you were very much left to your own devices.
You do surprise me.
So I sort of followed my nose and thought, well, it must be roughly in this direction.
Round here somewhere, yeah.
Just round here somewhere. Yes, exactly. If I get to Oakhampton, I've gone too far. But
I'd say so. Yeah.
But anyway, eventually found my way to the garage, and parked it up and dropped it off. There it is. See what you can do with that. Came back home, and a couple of hours later had a phone call from the garage. And of course, as soon as their number come up, I thought, oh,
what now?
What have you found? How much worse is it than you thought when you first looked 3 months ago? But no, they'd taken all the kind of under panels off and the wheel arches liners out, wheels off, wheel arch liners out. Had a good old poke around in there. Not substantially worse than the last time I looked at it. That was all fine. But it turns out at some point on my journey this morning, I cracked a front spring.
Oh.
Don't know when, but they said it has just happened because it's a really clean brake and the metal is still shiny. So that didn't happen on your way home because it would have rusted in the last 3 months.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
that's happened this morning. That's really fresh. There's no corrosion on it at all. So at some point down the various windy lanes this morning, I cracked one of the front suspension springs.
Oh, for goodness sake.
So that's got to be done as well.
Okay, well, at least it's in bits anyway, so it's a start.
It's in bits. They've dropped the rear axle out, and have started work cutting the floor out. So off we go. We approved the extra cost to get the spring done because clearly, it's
not optional at this point, really.
There's not a great deal of choice there, is there? No. So it'll have a new spring, so it's probably going to be 3 or 4 days before we get it back, but that is fine.
Okay, well, it's not bad turnaround, to be honest.
No, it's pretty good. So it is happening.
Oh, good.
Yes,
that's all right.
Could have done without that first thing.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
So that, but it's being done. One new issue, but there we go. Live and learn.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's still for a price that we're happy with. So
well, it's better that it happened on the way there than on the way back from there. So
that's exactly what I said. Yes, exactly. How annoyed would you have been if it happened on the way home?
Oh, reasonably cross, I would say.
I would think, yes. Turn around, take it back.
Oh, good. So yeah, we'll have that home safe and sound soon. And this I can't remember where we left it. Has the decision been made on what's being done with it next?
No, a final decision I don't think has been. I mean, it's not my car, of course.
No,
but it will certainly be used in the summer, and I think it's in the Wheel C category at the moment. There has been some talk of replacing it, but I think we'll see. I think she's keen to get back in it and start driving it again and kind of reconnect with it, because it's not been driven since September. So
no, you kind of moved in and that's where it's sat, really, isn't it?
And it's kind of sat there in the corner and not moved. So
okay.
So we will. It's very definitely in the Wheel C column at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll watch this space, see if it rekindles the love for it, or whether it's time to send it on its way.
Either way, it's being fixed up, and that is a glorious thing because we're probably saving it by doing this work now.
Yeah, it's best to get on it.
Yeah, I think so. I think if it had gone much further, it would have done what all Pumas have done and just kind of gone too far.
Oh
really.
No, it's good to get it.
And it doesn't take a lot for a Puma to go too far.
No, on the grand scheme of things, what they've found on it isn't too bad, really.
No, it's a lot better than most of them. And there aren't many of these left. It is a proper rare car these days. It's being fixed up. It will be tip top. It will have an MOT with no advisories, and it will be driven through the summer. And we'll see. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it stick around, but as I said, it's not actually my car. So
no, you've got no choice in that. You've got your own vehicle quandaries.
Well, you know me. I flap back and forth on these things.
I've always said that.
You're not the first.
No. Sure. Well, you've done that, and I've been out and about doing car things.
You certainly have, haven't you? Yes, you've been. I think it's not too much of a stretch to say hither and thither.
Definitely, yes. And all destinations were automotive.
Well, this is excellent.
So a quick rundown of what we did is there was a trip to the British Motor Museum again.
Oh, lovely.
Chris had never been, so
okay.
We'll take him around there.
Yes.
And you would have been beside yourself because we arrived in the car park. We thought, it's reasonably busy for a first weekend in January, and you go, not only is it reasonably busy, it's all Jaguars.
Oh, that's dirty, that.
Yeah. So we thought you'd like a bit of that. Yeah. So but there was a Jaguar event going on.
Oh, lovely.
You honestly walking through it, we're just sort of having a glimpse of what was on offer, and not only was there an array of tweed on the go, but the conversations that you were overhearing, I was like, I think if you were a sort of ear, nose, and throat doctor, you could make a killing off these people because they've all got clearly adenoid issues.
Yeah, that does happen in these car clubs.
Yeah. So it was, So there was some pretty good stuff there. Loads and loads of modern stuff. There was an array of XFs.
Of course. Bound to be.
Yeah, but there was some older stuff there too. We had some XJs, XJSs, a few E-types. An XK of some sort. I never did figure out what it was, be it 120 or anywhere up to 150. I don't know. I didn't look hard enough. That was the problem.
No, well, at a glance, it's hard to tell the difference.
Outside.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the problem. Is like an awful lot of it was outside, and going, we'd planned to go to the museum, so it wasn't really dressed for wandering around outside.
Not wandering around the car park.
No. We went and had a mooch round. Nothing. A few bits and bobs changed, but it was nice to bore Chris with my car facts as we were going around. He loved.
I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, a museum curated by Grandad, so that's good. So that was all right. We then we went to Cafe and Machine. See what was knocking about. It was as it turns out, it was a German themed weekend or just the Saturday. I don't know what.
Okay.
But that was nice. Plenty of Porsche to keep me amused. But there was BMWs, Audis, VWs, all of the German things. But there was some other stuff there as well, wasn't it? It was it was good. That was interesting. And then we capped it all off on the Sunday by going to the scramble at Mr. Heritage.
Yes. And yes. Did I see that Mr. Harris was there this weekend?
Yeah, he was there with his new M5 touring.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
He put pictures of that on
Twitter.
Yeah,
he was here. Here? No, there. He's not here. I'm in the room on my own.
Yes, I'm not.
I was going to say there's something going on.
That was an irritating child.
Okay. I suppose we better check. Was it yours?
I didn't actually look. I assume so. I don't think we've got random ones.
Okay, that's good.
It's just in the house. Oh.
No. Yes, he was there, and you didn't go and listen to his talk because it's just the problem is the scale of that place is deceptive.
Right.
And the face of it, you go, oh, probably not that big. But every time I've been going, actually, we've not even scratched the surface. There's so much here.
It's
so you
enormous. Just right. Yeah.
And that's before you've even made it out of the car park, which is full of exotic things.
Well, it's bound to be a good car park there, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. So what I've got, I did prep a load of photographs, which I thought so I'm not going to do them out of context. So they're all prepped. Now that the episode will go out,
you can put them up. It'll be Tuesday.
Yeah, I think it'll be there or thereabouts. So I might preempt it a little bit. I might stick some up at the weekend, see how it goes. But I have prepped them. There are many treats. I took a few snaps of anything vaguely of interest. One particular highlight, of all things, we were looking back. This is at the British Motor Museum. There was in the car park, amusingly, in amongst all the Jaguars, which gave me a right old chuckle, was a Toyota Century.
Blimey.
Oh yeah.
Okay, nice.
Really nice, proper nice. And
I could get with that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what would have really given you a chuckle was on the rear window. They'd popped a sticker on there.
Right.
And it was Osato Chemical and Engineering Company.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
I thought you'd like
that's fantastic. Yes, I'm massively. No one will understand what that means.
No, I got a photo of it as well, so don't worry. I thought I'll just lean over the car a little bit and take a photo of that and go, actually, it's quite a big car. I'm overstretching here, if I'm honest.
Yes, I was going to say, just leaning over the back of it is quite the effort. But that's worth getting a picture. Oh, I massively approve of that. That's brilliant.
Yeah,
that's a real fan who owns that.
Yeah, I knew you'd like that.
Yeah, that's proper. That is, I like that a lot.
And then the following day, we saw it in the car park at Bicester. So they were clearly making a weekend of it as well.
Obviously, yeah, well, you would, wouldn't you? Probably.
Oh yeah. So yes, like I said, cafe machine, various German things, all sorts, and then there's Bicester Heritage. Some of the highlights. So the in the car park, really a car you don't see anymore. A Hillman Tiger. The Avenger.
You really don't.
No.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. So yeah,
you really don't see those anymore. That's
and one for the air-cooled pervs as well. The really hardly ever seen, and often sort of labelled the precursor to the Golf, maybe the VW Brasilia.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up.
I'd only ever seen a picture of one.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I know what you mean now. I've seen a picture. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen one of those. That's fantastic.
Yeah, like I said, I've never seen one in person. Ever.
No. That's nice.
there were that was quite special. Yeah, like I said, that yet to make it out of the car park. Also in the car park, Ferrari 250 short wheelbase.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, just
just because. Yeah.
Just because. Here's one that you probably in years gone by probably would have never ever bothered taking a photo of it. But a souped up in the correct 90s fashion Nova.
Oh,
pristine condition.
Fantastic.
So yeah, you can't fault that.
You can't fault that. It's another one of those cars that was everywhere and is now nowhere.
Yeah.
But the ones that are left are proper tidy.
Yes. So that was a real treat. What else do we have? I'm skimming my photos. A TWR Rover SD1.
Oh,
dirty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's proper.
That is. By the time we sort of ventured into the main event itself, there was something really special in there. It was they had a Singer DLS, I think, or to give it its full title, I think it's Dynamics and Lightweighting Turbo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's
that
DLS, what they call it.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah. So if you have a look at that one,
I am doing.
They had there's various pictures going around online, but the one they had there was the gold one.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at that now. Oh, there's no need for that, is there?
No, that was naughty. That was.
That is naughty, isn't it? That's very, very naughty. No, I just need to sit and look at that for a minute.
It's really quite something.
Yeah. Oh, Singer are just off the charts, aren't they? They really just.
They know exactly what they're doing, don't they?
It is spot on, isn't it? Everything they do is absolutely spot on.
Yes. Yep. Cannot be faulted.
No.
What else did we have of note inside? Audi Quattro in full Gene Hunt spec, red one.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's like, oh dear, that's a bit of everyone. We can pretend to be.
Fire up the Quattro.
Yes. A Gordon Keeble. Glorious thing. Love.
Yeah.
You know, I do like a bit of that. Again, for the air-cooled pervs, there was a real sort of head turner there. They had a VW Razor Edge.
I'm struggling. Hang on a minute. Gonna have to check that one out.
Type 34, I think, if you get into.
Oh, yeah. Didn't know that's what it was called, but yes, gotcha.
Yep, that was. Like it's modified but done tastefully, but a lot of time had been put into it, and it was one of the cars that probably got the most photos there of the whole thing.
I bet that is a proper rare groove, isn't it?
Really cool.
Yeah. Lovely.
I got a feeling. I wonder, because I put some on our Discord. I don't know if that. Oh, it did. Yeah, I did put that.
You did put some on our Discord. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did put the Razor Edge in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really marvelous looking thing. But yeah, so much other stuff. But the problem is, it's like Chris was saying, as you go around again, there's too much tasty, and you get car blind.
Yes, that is the problem, isn't it? Yes, you put the Quattro and the Singer on there. Oh, and a very tasty Aston. What have we got there? That's Living Daylight spec.
Oh, it's full Living Daylight spec, that one.
Yeah. I was looking at it's a D plate, so it's the right age.
Yeah. So it's almost bang on, isn't it?
Yeah. Apart from the colour, that is Living Daylight spec. Oh, I do like those. I really like those.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Also in that set of photos I put in there, the one that was causing much debate was the Testarossa in a very non-standard colour.
That is a very non-standard colour, isn't it? That's an extremely non-standard colour. I can't make up my mind about that.
I'm for it. I was.
I think I probably am too, but I think I'd need to just sit with it for a bit. It's a bit of a surprise, isn't it? If you've never thought of a Testarossa in that colour before.
No, I know what you mean, but no,
That's a very bold choice.
I saw it and thought, yeah, actually, that's what
all
I
right.
want. Yeah,
that's right.
That's nice. That is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So that was tremendous. Skim through any other bits and bobs. Oh, it's just too much. Too much to mention. Well, that's the thing. Like I said, I've prepped the photos for online usage, so they are going to go up. So you can skim through everything I've glossed over, which is a fair amount. I might have been a bit heavy on 911s, and well, I apologise.
It's to be expected, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really? You know what you like.
I do. But I did take pictures of other things too, so you're all right.
Yeah, you're right. That Audi is full Gene Hunt, isn't it? It's even got the right wheels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really good. Right.
Very good.
I suppose that leads us on to the next thing.
I'm certainly hoping so.
As promised, I said it was up for debate of going, well, I will be travelling in the Model Y.
Yes.
But we were sorting out logistics of whether I could pilot it. And it turns out I can.
Splendid.
So I've driven one now.
Okay, this is your second Tesla.
So for context, Chris kindly sorted the insurance on his one, and I did some reasonable miles in it. Actually, did motorways, dual carriageways, A roads, trying to navigate it around a retail park to get to a charger. All the driving experiences,
all the things you need. Yes,
all of that.
Very good.
So that was marvelous. And I know I can't remember whether you asked me on here or in normal conversation about what exact model he had.
I can't remember either, but I did ask you, and you had no idea.
I didn't know at the time, but it's the performance model.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Same as the one I've been in then.
Yes.
Very good.
So yeah, all of the oomph.
Oh, yeah, all of the oomph. Yes.
Yeah.
Good choice.
So yeah,
good choice.
I got to have a right old spin in it, and I'll tell you what. If I take the packaging element out of it,
I think you need to, don't you? You need to take packaging and the looks, just put that to one side for a moment.
I'm just going to pop a pin in that.
Just pop it exactly, and just you pop that on the back burner. And what is it like as a car, regardless of anything else?
That's the thing. As a car, I just doing car things, I couldn't fault it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that I obviously I was only in control of it for a couple of days. I don't know if over time you'd get bored of it, but I didn't get bored of the speed bit. That still made me giggle.
No, you never get bored of that. No.
No, that was it. I drove it what I considered to be quite quickly, and then realised I wasn't giving it anywhere near full beans. And Chris was like, I've got to give some beans. And I'm like, no, that's none of them. Oh dear. That was awfully...
I thought I was giving it beans.
That was awfully fast.
Yes.
So yeah, deployed some beans, and that was a lot of fun. Particularly the moment where I deployed them when Chris wasn't expecting it, and inserted his head into a headrest.
Oh, I did that to Dawn once in our Model S. I got in terrible trouble with it. In fact, it still gets brought up.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
But I brained him on the headrest, but then I mean he could continue bringing it up, but we were still laughing, so that was okay.
That's fine. That's how that goes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that. Yeah. And playing those silly games of going, right, well, here we are. We're on the dual carriageway. Right. There's a signpost there, and there's a tree just there. Do you reckon we were coming out of like average speeds? So going, do you reckon we can get from 40 to 70 between those two? Yes.
Good game.
Yeah.
It's a good game. You will be able to.
Oh
yes.
Yes. Yeah. So that was very silly. But
it does sort of encourage that, doesn't it?
Yeah, a bit like when I drove yours. You soon become attuned, and you go, well, I don't need to wait for such big gaps. If
you do, don't you? You do become attuned to it alarmingly quickly. Because I remember you saying after you drove my Model S, and you were in that only for a few hours. Later in the day, you got back in your Volvo. And we said, oh no, I can't go for that gap.
It's not as immediate as I would have wanted.
No, you do get used to it really quickly.
Yeah, you do. And that, I think the performance one of those is 3 and a bit to 60.
Yes, I believe that's true. Yes, it's pretty brisk. Yes.
Yeah, and it did feel it. I mean, but being sensible and go, right, okay, yes, there's 3 blokes in a car. I'm going to go, yes, you are going to do silly things about can I get
3 blokes in a very fast car. Yes.
Yeah, so those little challenges will be set. And I'd hasten to add, do not exceed the speed limit. We did all the silliness within the speed limit.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
But there's the driving, because I did my first sort of couple of stints on big roads, be it motorways, dual carriageways, whatever. Yep. So it's probably not a fair assessment of it until the following day when it was time for A roads.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's when you become aware of its size.
Yeah, it's I mean it's big, but it's not massive.
It's not enormous, but you soon notice it. I mean, you can clearly see it wasn't designed with a British A road in mind.
No Teslas are. No, I learned that very quickly when I had mine. Yes.
That's it. And the speed is, well, it gets a bit irrelevant on the twisties because you go, right, well, I can't deploy beams. I certainly can't deploy all of them during these wintry conditions. And go,
it's not advisable, no.
The car would probably be fine. It's got quite a lot of grip, clever motors, and all that torque vectoring malarkey.
It'll keep you out of trouble, I think. But even so,
yeah.
Especially when it's someone else's car.
Yes. Yeah. Just because I'm insured, that doesn't mean we need to make use of the insurance.
No. It's not a challenge.
No, it's not. But it's then when you start sort of chucking it a corner or two, you go, okay.
Yeah, the ride and handling becomes more of the focus. Yeah.
And you go, well, actually, this is probably the bit where you go. It's by no means crap at corners, but it's not its party piece. Party piece is the speed. The rest of the time, it's fairly sort of standard car in terms of handling.
Yeah, that's probably fair to say. I mean, they are. People have, said Tesla just kind of one-trick ponies, really, and that they are uber fast in a straight line. But when it comes to twisty bits, they're not so hot. I mean, I didn't find that to be particularly the case in my Model S, but then the Model Y is a higher riding, taller car than the
S. Yeah.
So it's a different thing, isn't it?
It's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
I think from your S to that Y, the build quality's come on.
Oh yeah, but a long way.
Yes. A noticeable improvement. Like the fit and finish felt more robust.
Yes.
However, what it didn't feel was luxurious.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair to say. I mean, that was one of the first things I noticed when I, obviously went from a XF Sport Brake into the Model S. It felt Even though it was a much more expensive car, it
That's-
felt like a bit of a step down.
That's the bit, and I don't think Chris would mind me saying it, because I'm sure he said when we were nattering away in the car that he said, look, his previous Audi was a much nicer place to be.
Yeah. Yeah, as my Jag was, and uses again now. Yes, the choice of materials is just a little bit. They just feel a bit cheap, but I wonder if that's not so much Tesla as that's more just sort of American cars.
Yeah, the American market and the American luxury bar is set a bit lower than what we would call luxurious, I think.
Yes, I think it always has been. So, but yeah, Tesla have certainly learned more about how to put a car together, but the choice of materials is still not up there with the European brands. No, definitely not.
No. It was overall, it was way better than I expected it to be.
That's interesting. Okay, how did you find the ride? Because there's a lot of reports. I know my dad will be particularly interested in this point. That the ride is very, very firm, and I know you're in the performance model, and presumably it had the 21-inch rims.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yes, all the rims there.
I would say, I mean, we were in it a fair bit, and I wouldn't say it was overly uncomfortable. It was firm-ish, but I mean, some of the roads we were on were in atrocious state.
Well, you're in the UK, so
yeah,
obviously.
And in all fairness, it didn't feel any worse than any other car we could have been driving about in. No criticism of the ride, really.
That's good to know. I have heard that they've dialed it back a bit on the more recent models. That the first Ys were a very hard ride, particularly the performance models with the bigger rims. But that's interesting.
No, it didn't come out of it with any grandad backaches.
Okay. Well, that is the acid test, of course.
Well, it is, and I'd moan about it.
Oh, you would, yeah.
Like, say for instance, compare the V90 I did some distances in that to the Model Y. Yeah. I'd take the Model Y every day of the week.
Every time.
Every day of the week.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's two
modern cars, and you go, right, that one, Volvo should know better. The Tesla is miles better than that.
Right. Interesting.
So there you go.
That is really interesting. That's good to
know. But yeah, I thought, like I said, I was just surprised. But the thing is, probably the most telling thing about it is we went everywhere, we did everything, and it just did it without any fuss.
Yeah, well, they do, don't they? That's the thing. I mean, all electric cars do.
Yeah, it just did it without us thinking about it. You go, right, we charged a couple of times. We didn't get stuck in any Daily Mail queues for charges. No. At no point would I consider the charging an inconvenience. The first time we stopped, we needed food anyway, so we got some. Second time, where was that second time? Oh, I think that was our joyous trip to the retail park. So we did a beer run while we were there because we needed some beers.
Yeah.
And the last time was on the way home, where we wanted to grab a sandwich again. And then we came out, sat in the car because it hadn't quite finished, put YouTube on, forgot we were watching YouTube, and the car had filled up way more than we needed it to. So that was good.
There you go. Yeah, it's not a problem, is it? The charging is really not an issue, because you're going to stop anyway. So you stop, you plug it in, it just becomes habitual. You just plug it in. ABC, as they say, always be charging.
and yeah, that's the first time I've been sort of anywhere near the charging network for them. And
I suppose it would be, because we haven't got any around here, so we didn't do that when we were playing with mine.
No.
And you use the Tesla superchargers.
Yeah, every time.
Okay.
We almost considered using some non-branded stuff when we got to British Motor Museum, but it's really we're plugging in for the sake of it, so we can.
Yeah.
When we looked,
I think that as well, you might be depriving somebody else who really needs the charge
Well, there was no one there, so
Well,
probably
okay,
not.
fair enough. Probably not in this case. No, fair
No.
enough.
Yeah, and we didn't, when we pulled up and were thinking about charging, we didn't leave the car there either. We moved it to a normal space. We're not knobheads.
Very good. Good etiquette there.
Good etiquette. Oh, I learnt about the charging etiquette at superchargers as well.
Did you?
I did, because the chargers are connected in pairs.
They are.
So if you go to and there's like never park directly next to someone, basically.
That's right. If you can avoid it, leave a gap. Yes.
Yeah.
Take every other one. That's not the case with the new V4 ones.
Okay.
Those are individually powered, so you can take any of them. But with any of the earlier ones, yes, it's urinal etiquette.
Excellent. And yes. I saw someone come along and go, "Oh, look at this commoner. They've got it wrong." Oh. I must say, poor Chris put up with me and Rob a huge amount of taking the piss.
I should imagine.
Yeah. There's a lot of it. I mean, because he is not a fanboy in any way, shape, or form. He got it as a tool, and it just does everything he needs to for work. But yes, oh my God, did we give him some stick?
Don't you listen to him, Chris. Don't you listen to him. I know. Don't you listen to him. I know what they're like. I also know what it's like to have a Tesla, and combine the two, it's not good.
No.
It's not good.
No. So yeah, there was a lot of that, a lot of joking about Daddy Musk, and all of that stuff. No, just,
yeah.
Well, we can all take a joke, so that's good. But yes,
that does help.
That's good. That was almost 3 solid days of Tesla ribbing. Although, in fairness, those sort of occasions where I drove it and go, people have got this summon feature on their cars and go, no, this one has just got a sweary granddad in the seat that brings the car to them.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Yes,
that's what you need. It works just as well.
Yeah. Well, it does. You
don't need a smartphone for that one either.
No.
You just yell.
Yeah. Send him off. Oh, one thing I didn't mention was the autopilot.
Yes.
That's just I've struggled to acclimatise.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I only used autopilot once. If you recall, I had a 30-day trial of it on my car because I didn't buy autopilot with mine because it's standard now. It wasn't when I had mine. You had to pay extra for it. So I had it for a month, and it's once it was in get. I have never concentrated so hard on driving as to when it was driving itself.
It was weird. I mean, it was. I mean, if you're on your A roads, it's pointless. But motorway dual carriageway, it is remarkably capable.
Yes. Yeah.
It
is.
And
I wouldn't use it on twisty roads. I think that would blend in tears. But as you say, on motorway or dual carriageway, it does do what it says on the tin.
And I tell you what, it's much more attuned than the system that they had in the Volvo, which would do like motorways and dual carriageways and do like to the point of where you could go right where you like in Tesla you can flick the indicators on, it can handle lane changes and things like that. But the Volvo one was just, oh my God, its lane positioning was woeful.
Right,
it was always too far to the right in the lane. Like what? It looked way too much on a motorway. You go, we're going to be clipping wing mirrors here in a minute.
Oh dear, that is too far.
And it was always the same. And I was like, I tried it on different roads. We've got the big A road between the motorway and Barnstable where we live. Actually, that's something where autopilot would work fine because it's quite a wide lane. And I tried the Volvo on that. While it did it and it could navigate the turns and everything because they're not tight ones, but it still bang on to the right. You don't have to be over there. There's an awful lot of road over there that you're not using.
That's weird, isn't it? I mean, the Tesla system is purely camera based. It's got no other sensors that it uses. No microwaves or anything like that other systems use. It is purely cameras. So maybe that makes the difference. I don't know.
I don't know, but I thought it was good, but I mean, all the adaptive cruise stuff, brilliant. But the autopilot, I don't know. You can keep that.
I wouldn't want. I mean, I didn't have it on mine. I thought it was very clever, but I also thought I would never use it. I would never use it. It's standard now, but I'm not interested in that.
No, that's fair enough. But to come to the end of that and go, right, well, actually, I'm way more impressed than I thought I would be. I enjoyed driving it more than I thought I would do.
That's really good. It was
staggeringly capable at just doing car things.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm very appreciative of him letting me have a drive. As I'm on the insurance, I quite like another go before the insurance renews.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Would you have one?
No.
Right. But that's because of the packaging.
It is because of the packaging. I mean, yes, you can get the same sort of tech in a different package. Yes. It's just a bit much. It's a bit much on the money front.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
And even, I mean, Chris admitted it as well, going, well, actually, it is a bit of an appliance.
Yeah.
There's no real character in it, which is why.
No, I think that's true. Yeah.
Which is why he's got his BMW Z4 he's doing up and rides motorbikes. That's where the character is. Do we get in the appliance to do work things?
Yes, and it does those things very well.
Yeah.
But it is just a tool, as you say. Yeah. That's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem with all EVs, really. And it's something that car manufacturers are going to have to find a way around. Otherwise, people are just going to lose interest in buying cars.
Yeah. And I think that's the telling thing going well. And I think at the moment, I mean, it's a bloody expensive car as well.
Well, the performance model particularly is, yes. Although we did learn this week that a certain Mr. Porter has now bought one.
Yes, I did. I only listened to that this morning, so I'm glad I'm up to speed.
Oh, okay. I was hoping you were up to speed. Yes.
Yeah. I think.
And if I might just pick up on one small detail from this week's Smith and Sniff, it is pronounced Tesla.
Oh yes.
With the Z, not Tesla with the S. Just clearing that up, because that is how it's pronounced in the original Serbian. So it is Tesla, not Tesla, definitely, because it's named after the man, and he was Serbian, and that's how it would be pronounced in Serbia. So
I see.
It's Tesla.
I know it's fallen out of my mouth in various forms, and I tell you what,
it does out of mine, even though I know.
It's nice that you've clarified, but I guarantee I won't pay enough attention when I say the word.
No, and I don't. I still say Tesla occasionally, but it is technically they answered the question because they didn't know. It is Tesla with a Z. Well, it's not spelt with a Z, but it's pronounced.
No, pronounced. Yeah, okay.
Well, sorry, Z if you're that way inclined.
Neither of us are. How vulgar.
Some of our listeners might be. So just saying.
I know it's nice to highlight the fact that they're saying it wrong.
I'm really pleased that you were pleasantly surprised by it. I think that's really good.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that that's how it turned out. But like I said, it's just it. While it was fun and did silly things and was all of the capable, it's all of the forgettable at the same time, which is the unfortunate bit, isn't it?
The problem is that you can't sort of fail to be impressed by the technology, but that's kind of where it ends, isn't it?
Mm.
You think, yes, that's very clever. I like what they've done there. But that's it. Yeah, I know what you mean. You don't get the passion.
No.
For it.
No. No, it is a bit soulless.
I do know what you mean. Yeah.
I tell you what, though, good sound system. I'll give it that. There you go. Let's stick another tick in the pro column.
Very good.
Yeah,
very
banging
good.
tunes, not an issue.
Banging tunes, yes.
Yeah. But I suppose, well, sod it then. We can leave it there. I am surprised that I enjoyed driving a Model Y. There you go.
There you go. On that bombshell.
Yeah, no one saw that coming.
No.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.